When is a plea deal a win? And when is it a trap? The YSL case is revealing a darker side to plea bargaining, and it could impact the entire legal landscape. Plea deals are often a shortcut to justice, but in the YSL trial, they've sparked even more controversy. Let's go down the legal rabbit hole. The YSL trial is a criminal case in Fulton County, Georgia, involving rapper Young Thug and other associates of his record label Young Stoner Life, YSL. Prosecutors allege that YSL is a criminal street gang that committed violent crimes including murder, armed robbery, and drug dealing. Young Thug and others were indicted under Georgia's Racketeer Influence in Corrupt Organizations Act, also known as RICO. Young Thug and the other defendants argue that YSL is a record label and that the other defendants are friends and collaborators. Hip-hop music is a form of expression of street culture and urban upbringing. Music is protected by the First Amendment. We are all entitled to freedom of speech. Are individuals protected when they portray a gangster image in their music and videos? Can lyrics in a song be used as evidence? These questions, dear viewer, are common amongst the court of public opinion in this case. Prosecutors are using rap lyrics as evidence against the defendants. The trial began in November of 2023 and is the longest trial in Georgia history. The trial has been delayed and disrupted by a number of events, including the stabbing of a defendant, the arrest of a juror, illnesses, and judicial recusal. The YSL trial has been nothing short of a fiasco. The state has been criticized for being unorganized in its presentation to the jury, leading to over 40 motions for mistrial. The case has become a national phenomenon, with something jaw-dropping happening in the case daily. For example, last week, the judge issued an apology after using a racial slur while reading a transcription of a piece of evidence.
Right. Boy, you still drinking? Where you at? I gotta do it for boo. These blacking. Like, they're not doing enough to honor him or whatever. I don't know that you can say, you can say, oh, that means they don't have guns on them, but that would be quite a stretch. Yeah. Given the context in which it comes up.
Yes, Your Honor. We will not use that page.
All righty. So not the picture, not that page. So 8921 is like a snap of somebody's text.
However, plea deals are a hot topic on this case. The indictment included 28 defendants, many of which pled out before the trial began. We started the trial with 6 defendants, and we are now down to 2, with 4 defendants pleading out and no longer on the case. Plea deals usually mean less time behind bars, but in the YSL trial, they're raising some serious questions. Why are some deals unexpectedly backfiring on the defendants? This story underscores an important concept in criminal law: plea deals. According to Black's Law Dictionary, a plea is an accused person's formal response of guilty, not guilty, or no contest to a criminal charge. It's important to note that there are several types of pleas in criminal law. Black cites 6: a blind plea, a conditional plea, a guilty plea, a negotiated plea, a nolo plea, and a not guilty plea. We will break those down further in the video. A plea deal is an agreement between the state and individual defendants on trial, often including charges, sentencing, and any applicable fines. It will also describe and show any time served or time to be served. These documents are designed to summarize a defendant's sentence and conditions of probation if applicable. In order to understand these plea deals, we have to briefly talk about RICO. And I don't mean a person named Rico.
Oh dear, they're going to send me to jail.
Monsieur, parlez-vous français?
They want to know if you speak French.
No, I know. No parlo francés. Yo hablo español.
Oh, espagnol. Espagnol. Allez me chercher le poivron.
Oh, tout de suite.
RICO, the Racketeer Influenced and Corruptions Organization Act, was passed in 1970 to help the government crack down on organized crime, particularly targeting mafia operations. The law allows prosecutors to link multiple crimes over time into a single case, making it possible to hold leaders accountable for crimes committed by their subordinates within a criminal enterprise. Originally aimed at mob bosses, RICO has since been applied to various organizations and individuals, from the Genovese crime family and the Hells Angels to cases like the BP oil spill and Bernie Madoff's fraud scheme. It remains a powerful tool in prosecuting organized and complex criminal activities. Plea deals are significant in this RICO case because we have a large group of defendants charged with specific and individualized crime. All defendants are facing count 1 of the indictment, which is the conspiracy to participate in RICO. We have seen prosecutors use these plea deals almost as a weapon, not against the defendants, but also converting original indictees into witnesses to help narrate the state's presentation of the case. The reason why it backfires is because a majority of the state's witnesses outside of the experts do not want to be there. In fact, a great example of this is Munktunk Antonio Sledge, an original indictee who did not provide the answers the state wanted as he provided testimony on the stand. We will talk about how this became a major backfire in a moment. An important part of trial strategy is witness preparation. You need time to prepare witnesses with questions you will ask them, as well as anticipated questions opposing counsel may ask them. Here, we've seen many witnesses come up on the stand, and they generally, and this is not the experts, this is everyone else, they generally fall into 2 categories. 1, being over-prepped, and 2, being under-prepped. However, what we're going to do is use recent examples to help illustrate this point. Let's go to the first one, when over-prepping goes wrong. Recently, prosecutor Simone Hilton had an issue with being over-prepped. Let's watch and see if you can spot what went wrong here.
Let's talk about before now.
Oh, we were cool.
Are you still cool now?
I don't know him right now. He's been locked up for a couple of years. What, I ain't supposed to say that?
Disregard.
And just listen to the question that I ask you, okay?
Prosecutor Hilton had Wooney Lee on the stand testifying. She asked the witness about an Instagram post. A hashtag on the post, which was, quote unquote, hashtag free Quay, was prejudicial to 2 defendants as both of their nicknames are Quay.
Who is in 37NN?
OG Boo. OG Boo.
And who is that?
Shannon.
All right. And can you read for the jury the caption?
Read his caption.
Yes.
Said, ain't none more compatible than a trench. A carbon while in the trenches.
And then is there a hashtag?
Hashtag no slime left behind. Hashtag 2 B's. Life size.
Okay. And is there another hashtag?
Free Quay.
What? Is there another hashtag on the screen?
Oh, no.
Your Honor.
It's in this paper
Your
right
Honor.
here. You got me reading.
Your Honor, I have to make a motion.
All right, I'm going to excuse
I wasn't looking at the screen. I was looking at this paper.
That's fine, don't worry about it. Can I ask you to step outside for just a minute? And jury, I'll excuse y'all for just a minute.
The witness said, "Was I not supposed to say that?" indicating that they have had spent time preparing. Defense raised an objection. All counsel approached the bench and the judge agreed with the defense and asked the prosecutor to refrain from having the witness testify to this. That also included removing the term free Quay from reaching the jury audibly and visually. The prosecutor handed the witness a printed copy of the Instagram post, which was unredacted after that bench conference. a critical mistake, and because the witness read the words to the jury again after the prosecutor resumed her question, this was a big problem. Defense motioned for a mistrial. The judge sided with the defense. This critical moment led to 4 defendants pleading out of the case. Let's talk about when under-preparing goes wrong. Recently, prosecutor Adrienne Love had an issue with being unprepared. Let's watch and see if you can spot what went wrong here.
Would you tell the jury of those 3 or more members of YSL that you described, if there is any particular language that they have in common or that they use, other than average run-of-the-mill English?
Could you repeat your question?
Yes. Of the 3 or more members of YSL that you know of, is there any particular language or words that they use that is besides the run-of-the-mill common English language you'd find in a dictionary?
Object to run-of-the-mill you find in the dictionary? Nobody speaks like a dictionary.
Overruled.
I can't say because the whole world speaky bunny, so I can't, like you said, in a dictionary. I wouldn't know what's in a dictionary. I don't look in a dictionary.
Okay.
So I don't know if the word you're looking for in the dictionary or it's not in the dictionary.
The word slime. Have you heard of the word slime?
They got a whole place called slime. They got a slime event. So, yeah, I don't heard the word slime. You got a play thing that you could take your kids to for the slime thing. So, yes, I have heard that word.
Have you heard members of YSL call each other slime?
I done heard people not YSL call each other slime.
That's okay. Have you heard members of YSL call each other slime?
Yes.
Now, have you called members of YSL slime?
Yes.
Now, when you called members of YSL slime, were you talking about that big old play thing that kids play on?
Ms. Love, come on now. We ain't gonna.
Jury doesn't know.
We're not.
So you have to be clear.
Of course, I know they know. They no different from me and you. Come on, that ain't no question.
Tell the jury what you were referring to when you called.
I wasn't
people.
referring to the play thing.
Okay. So what significance does the word slime have?
It's just a slang word we use towards each other.
And when you say we, who are you talking about?
The whole world, not just the Pacific people. The whole world. I call people slime that I don't even know. People be walking down the street, be like, "What's up, slime?"
And when you use it, what do you mean?
It's just a slang word for the streets.
Okay. What does it mean though?
I don't know the meaning of it. The whole world, I guess it's slime like what it meant for itself, slime. The whole world slime to me.
So are you able to tell us anything about what you feel it means?
I feel it means no one can be trusted. That's what I feel.
Fair enough. And is that a phrase that members of YSL, I'm not talking about the whole world, just members of YSL, uses amongst themselves?
Why you want to say they just use amongst themselves when I just said a whole world use? You try to make it seem like it's just about them using it when it's not just them using it.
Understood. But I still have to know, is that a word that members of YSL use amongst themselves?
I don't know how to answer that question because I thought I already answered. Could you put your question in? Could you make it better where I can understand what you're saying?
Who do you know that has committed a crime for YSL?
For YSL?
Yeah.
Nobody.
Okay. So who do you know who has committed a crime to boost the reputation of YSL?
Nobody.
Who do you know? Do you know what the word notoriety means?
No.
Do you know what notorious means?
No.
When I say street credibility, do you know what that means?
I have an idea of what you're saying about credibility.
What is your idea of what I'm saying about street credibility?
Like basically they commit crimes to try to boost the name up of YSL. Okay. But I don't think that was the case.
Okay. Now, you're saying that you know of no one within YSL who has ever committed a crime to increase the notoriety, street credibility, or reputation of YSL?
Well, I'm not saying that I don't know a person that claimed YSL had committed a crime, but I'm saying they didn't do it in the name of YSL.
Now, thank you for clarifying, but my question is, who do you know that has committed a crime to increase either the notoriety, the street credibility, or the reputation of YSL?
I don't think it was for the reputation or the street credibility of YSL. I just think the crimes were committed by what happened to them and they did it on their own. I don't think it was because of YSL, if that's what you're getting at.
I'm not. I'm asking you only what I specifically said.
I don't recall. I don't know the answer to that question.
At any point over the past 2.5 years, have you known the answer to that question?
No.
Do you recall whether on December 28th, 2022, you knew the answer to that question?
And when I try to correct you on that answer, you wouldn't let me correct you on the answer, so.
First, we're gonna get an answer from you.
I object to the commentary. Ask a question.
Overruled. Go ahead.
First, I'm gonna ask you to answer the question, and then we'll get to what you just said, okay?
If you want to say on the plea agreement, yeah, I initiate on that.
Okay, so my question is, on December 28th, 2022, did you know of 3 or more members of YSL that have committed crimes intended to increase the notoriety, street credibility, and reputation of YSL?
My answer gonna be the same. When I try to...
Prosecutor Love had Moontunk Antonio Sledge on the stand testifying. She asked him multiple questions with a planned testimony of a few hours which turned into multiple days. Moontunk signed a plea agreement with factual acknowledgments. To Miss Love's surprise, Moontunk began testifying on the record that some of the things he acknowledged on the plea agreement were not true. Because of the surprise, it is likely that the prosecutor and Moontunk had very little time to prepare and discuss his testimony. This was dangerous because Moontunk had over 30 years of probation as a condition to his plea agreement. He would face jail time if he testified against what he agreed to. Weeks later, Moontunk was placed back into custody for failing to comply with his plea agreement. Many are of the opinion that his lawyer should have caught the clause in the factual acknowledgments in version control of the agreement with the prosecutor when they go back and forth in the negotiation process, while many also side with the prosecutor while he indeed violated the agreement. The point is, strategically, it is important for the prosecutor to prepare witnesses, even the ones that don't want to be there. A witness can go rogue, and it does happen. We saw the prosecutor then go on to spend hours trying to rehabilitate the lack of preparedness. Witness preparation is pivotal in criminal law. We've had conversations on this channel about how lengthy probation sentences can be a trap for individuals. Is it possible to follow the rules for over a decade. For example, in 2021, more than 230,000 people on community supervision were jailed or imprisoned, mostly due to technical violations of their probation. And you also have to remember, in 2021, 1.2 million people were incarcerated in state or federal prisons in the United States. That's 19% of that 1.2 million. Earlier, we talked about the different types of pleas, and there are 3 we should briefly highlight before we look at who pled out. Note that these defendants did plead guilty, but I'm pretty sure you guys understand what guilty pleas are, so we're not going to cover that. Let's learn about what guilty means, negotiated pleas mean, and NOLO pleas as well. A guilty plea is an accused person's formal admission in court of having committed the charged offense. A guilty plea must be made voluntarily and only after the accused has been informed of and understands his or her rights. A negotiated plea is a plea agreed to by a criminal defendant and the prosecutor in a plea bargain. A NOLO plea, a plea by which the defendant does not contest and admit guilt. It's like the medium place. Here are 4 examples of plea agreements becoming effective. Let's start with Young Thug. Note that Young Thug originally had 8 charges against him. He pled guilty to 6, which were related to the raid at his home where drugs and firearms were recovered. He was fined $40,000. He pled NOLO to 2 charges, RICO and being the leader of a criminal organization, and guilty of the other crimes. Let's go to Quay number 1. Mr. Nichols faced 7 charges. He pled guilty to RICO and pled NOLO to the other 6, which included a murder charge. Let's talk about the other Quay. Mr. Huey had the most charges, in fact, a total of 19, mostly centered on robbery and assault with a deadly weapon. He pled guilty to 10 charges and NOLO to the remaining 9. Little Rod, the youngest of the defendants already convicted on a murder charge up for appeal, only had 1 charge, RICO, which he pled guilty to. Let's talk about when plea deals are ineffective, and this involves rogue witnesses. We've got 3 of them. Let's start with the first one, Mungtung. Ultimately, we saw Mungtung sentenced to prison for violating his plea agreement.
Who is in the courtroom with you today that was not in the courtroom with you on December 28, 2022?
Could you repeat it?
Can you rephrase that? Because that's going to be a whole lot of people. Just get to the point that you want to ask.
Yes. You already said I was here. Was there a court reporter here in the courtroom? Not this one, but a court reporter?
I think so.
Were there deputies?
I think so.
Were there DA investigators?
I think, yes.
Obviously, you said your lawyer was here?
Yes.
All right. Was your friend Shannon here?
If you're trying to get to the point.
Mr. Sledge, I'm not trying to get to anything, and I really do need you to just answer the question.
Listen.
So if you could please, Your Honor, if the court would instruct the witness to answer the question.
Listen to the question and answer the question.
And then
that's
you can
asked, and
explain.
then you may explain it.
I would ask
Thank
that
you.
he be allowed to complete his answer.
And Your Honor, since his answer was not responsive,
His answer was not responsive.
I'd ask that you
Re-ask the question.
Was your friend, Mr. Stillwell, here in court with you on December 28, 2022?
No.
Was your friend, Defendant Williams, here in court with you on December 28, 2022?
No.
Was your friend, Defendant Kendrick, here in court with you on December 28, 2022?
No.
Was the lawyer for your friend, Mr. Williams, here in court with you on December 28, 2022?
No.
Was the lawyer for your friend, Mr. Stillwell, here in court with you on December 28, 2022?
No.
Was the lawyer for your friend, Mr. Kendrick, here
Objection.
in court with you on December? He
I'm
objected.
saying,
I'll
why
wait.
you
Hold on,
raising-
Mr.
Relevance to whether I was in attendance at the time he took his plea.
Your Honor,
Overruled.
was the lawyer for your friend, Mr. Kendrick, here in court with you on December 28, 2022? You can answer first, and I will let you explain, but I need you to answer
No.
yes or no.
But could you stop yelling at me like I'm your child or something? I'm not your child.
You are not.
You talking aggressive to me. You don't intimidate me. All them guys over here. So if you would have came to me and asked me that, I'd have told you the same thing. What if they was in my face or not in my face? I'm not scared of them or you.
I don't want you to be.
Well, that's what you acting like it. That's what you acting like you're trying to pay.
So do you want me to bring my voice down? And I apologize
Don't
if it
holler at
sounds
me.
like
I
I'm
ain't your
yelling.
child. Could I take a break? Y'all in the car.
No, we've had so many breaks this
Yeah,
morning. We
'cause
really need to get through this.
All right. So, Mr. Sledge, was either Quay that is in the courtroom here today in the courtroom with you on December 28, 2022?
No.
Was Lil Rod in the courtroom with you on December 28, 2022?
Get to your point. No.
That is my point.
Your point is
Okay.
pointless.
Was the lawyer for Mr. Huey Quay in court with you on December 28, 2022?
No.
Was the lawyer for Cormarius Nichols in court with you on December 28, 2022?
No.
Was the lawyer for Little Rod in court with you on December 28, 2022?
I don't know if that's been asked and answered or not.
It was not.
Okay, well, go ahead if you say it wasn't.
Was the lawyer for
No.
Little Rod?
No.
On cross-examination, defendant Stillwell's attorney, Mr. Sharp, asked you about Shell, Kell, and Antrevia. Do you remember that?
I don't recall.
All right. When did you lose recollection of what happened 3 days ago?
I don't recall.
Are all of your answers to every question I asked from now on going to be, I don't recall?
Yes.
Why?
Because I don't recall.
And what caused you to lose your memory?
You put so much pressure on my brain, I don't forgot everything. I can't remember all this stuff that been asked to me for the last 4 days. It's like, it's confusing. So I'm not, like you said, I completed the 9th grade. I'm not that intelligent to be remembering all this stuff that you keep asking me. My brain just everywhere. I might need to go see somebody after this court time.
Mr. Sledge, did you have any problem at all understanding the questions asked to you about Brian Steele?
I don't recall.
Right. Did you lose your memory at any point with Mr. Steele?
He wasn't pressuring me like you. He was helping me. He was explaining to me. He was breaking down. But it seemed like.
I appreciate what you're saying. I'm going to respond to that.
Objection.
Mr.
The witness should be allowed to answer the question.
Were you finished with your answer?
No, she cut me off.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, please.
I said, Mr. Steele was explaining to me he wasn't pressuring me, but every time it seems like I'm getting up in with you, I'm giving you my truth, and you still trying to pressure me to say something you want me to say when I'm giving you the truth that I know.
Mr. Sledge, do you understand that there's a difference between the way that a prosecutor can ask you questions and the way that a defense attorney can ask you questions?
No.
Do you understand that I cannot lead you when I'm asking you questions?
Sustained.
Okay. When you say that there's a difference between the way that Mr. Steele asks you questions and the way that I ask you questions, would you help me understand what that difference is so that I can ask you questions in a way that does not frustrate you?
Oh, well, I mean, he kind of has told you.
She didn't say it. She said, you overruled.
Ask your next question.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So will you help me break things down a little bit so that I'm not frustrating you, okay?
You already have.
I understand.
I don't even.
Can we rewind?
No.
All right. When you were asked about Antrevia, Was Shell Kell the person you said who had also started a relationship with Antrevia after you?
I don't recall.
What is confrontational about that question?
I just don't recall.
Why don't you recall?
Because you pressured me. I don't recall. You hurt my brain.
Next up, we have Little Woody, one of the most controversial witnesses in trial history. This witness admits to committing crimes. The state granted this witness immunity, even though he admits to lying to law enforcement and prosecutors in the case.
So it may seem like I'm trying to help Doug out. I'm not trying to help him out. I don't care nothing about him, what he got going on, nothing. I care about the truth. The truth was, I was going through a phase in my life, and I have put all the blame on him. I don't know what he did. I don't know what he got going on. But y'all got me on the stand, and I'm telling the God honest truth. Leave me out of this. I made all these stories up, put the blame on him to get myself out of the situation because the police told me they want a big fish, and I'm a little fish. They ain't who I want. So when they told me that, my only motive was to convince them that I'm telling the truth about this guy right here, and I'm lying.
The prosecution did not have control over this witness.
Young, you say nothing I say can be used against me?
That's right.
Me and Threat shot up Rich Homie Coin Daddy Barbershop on Bankhead. I don't know what happened with Threat and Rich Homie Coin, but I'm a ride with my brother. And they was beefing. And yeah, we pulled up and did that.
Okay. And as a result of, why did you and Threat shoot up Rich Homie Quan Daddy's barbershop?
Because I'm a ride with Threat.
Okay. Did Threat tell you why he was shooting
I
up
don't
the
ask no
barbershop?
questions. I just say let go.
And when Rich Homie Quan's barbershop was shot up, was that in September of 2014? Do you remember?
I don't know when. I know we went up there and shot it up.
Okay. Was it before Nut was killed?
Yes.
Do you remember what happened the day that you and Threat shot up Rich Homie Quan's daddy's barbershop?
What you mean?
Like, do you remember that day? What led up to you going to the barbershop and shooting it up?
I told him they go do it.
What led up to you saying, let's go do it? Why?
Threat was mad. He was like, he fucking keep scaring my language. He was talking, playing like we somebody to play with. And I was ready. I had them choppers on deck.
Why was Threat beefing with Rich Homie Quan to shoot up his daddy's shop?
Cause we didn't know where he was.
Next up, we have Little D. This witness has sickle cell disease and was arrested outside of a hospital while receiving treatment for his illness to testify in this case. Mr. Zachary has done time for his crimes like Woody and admits to these crimes. The prosecution did not have control over this witness.
So now we're going to go ahead and play the video that we previously had up on the screen that the court asked us to take down.
That same shit that got Big and Tupac killed, little fuck, nigga. Pussy ass, nigga, get your bitch ass killed. YSL for life. Yeah, hey, gang, you bring your pussy ass down here, you gonna see me. I'm at your fucking neck. Fuck anybody.
Mr. Zachary, did you see yourself in that video?
Yes.
And where were you seated in that video?
In the back.
All right. And were you behind Mr. Stillwell?
Yeah.
All right. Did you hear what you said?
What I said?
Did you hear what you said?
No.
All right. Can we play that again?
That same shit that got Big and Tupac killed, little fuck, nigga. Pussy ass, nigga, get your bitch ass killed. For life. Yeah, hey, gang, you bring your pussy ass down here, you gonna see me. I'm at your fucking neck. Fuck anybody.
Did you hear what you said then?
Can't come to Atlanta.
Okay. Did you hear yourself say black?
No.
Did you hear anyone say black?
How you spell it?
Did you hear what I just said?
How you spell it?
Mr. Zachary.
No, I didn't hear nobody say black.
What did you hear being said that sounded like Black, if anything?
Well, when y'all played the video on my trial, y'all say we said black, B-L-A-C-K. So that's what I'm gonna go with. That what
We're
y'all
not
said we
talking
said.
about anything but here today. Do you understand that, Mr. Zachary?
We said black,
What is that? How do you spell it?
B-L-A-C-K.
Okay, so now are you saying that what is being said is B-L-A-C-K?
That's what y'all told me it said.
Okay, Mr. Zachary, I don't want to know what anyone told you. I want to know what your understanding of what is
That's
being
my
said.
understanding, yes.
That is B-L-A-C-K.
Yes.
Okay. Have you ever heard B-L-A-T-T?
No.
Okay. Have you ever heard S-L-A-T-T?
I heard of, yeah.
Okay. Ever used it?
No.
Ever been around anybody that used it?
Probably. I don't remember.
Do you remember how they used it if you heard them? No? Okay. I'm going to now show you, actually, could you tell the jury all the people that were displayed in that video you just saw? Do you need to see it again?
I just saw me and Shannon.
Okay, did you see it? You didn't see a third person in there?
I saw a third person, but I don't know who that is.
Do you remember when that video was taken?
2015.
All right. Do you remember where you were when it was taken?
In the car.
Where? What city?
Atlanta.
All right. And do you know what it is that you all were talking about?
Say something about game or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What about game?
I just heard say game. Can't come to Atlanta, something like that.
Okay. And so did you hear yourself or anyone say YSL for life?
I heard it, but I don't know who said it.
Okay. Did you ask anyone on the video what that means, what you're talking about?
What do you mean?
I'm asking you if at any time in that car you said, what do you mean YSL for life?
No.
Okay.
I probably was high. I probably ain't paying attention that time.
Did you hear yourself talking?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you sound high to yourself?
What?
Did you sound high?
I'm saying the video I probably was. We made the video.
All right, Mr. Zachary. I'm going to show you what has been marked as an admitted, and this is a screenshot, Your Honor, as State's Exhibit 441 Yankee.
Little strip ass nigga. We ain't really going back to real nigga. You little bitch ass nigga. I know what we hate. I'm everywhere. Yeah, fuck you nigga, Cal. Whoever else, nigga. Well, nigga. Nigga. Whoa. They said they ain't really going back.
Do you remember the Kel you told the jury you were not cool with a few minutes ago?
Yeah.
Is that the same Kel or a different?
Probably was.
Probably was.
Probably was him. I don't remember.
Do you remember making that video?
Yes.
When did you make it?
I like 2014, 2014, 2015, something like that.
Would it have been the latter part of 2014?
Yes.
And when you were holding the guns up to the camera, what were you meaning to show?
Shoot, gun. I showed a gun.
Why were you showing?
I don't know. Shoot, probably high.
Okay. Why were you saying the things you were saying to Caleb?
I said something to him.
Why was whatever you all were doing on that video being done?
I don't think I said nothing to him personally.
Why were you all shooting that video?
I don't know. I was just in the video.
With guns?
Yeah.
To the camera? How often do you do that?
A lot.
And do you do it at everybody or just Caleb?
Did I say something to him in that video?
Do you point guns at a video, in a video to everyone or just Caleb?
Probably everyone. Okay. Most of my pictures gonna be with gun.
Okay. When you say most of your pictures are with guns, are most of your pictures also with members of YSL?
To help me emphasize the core risks and benefits of plea deals, I recently had a conversation with one of the attorneys on the case, Attorney Westmoreland.
So as far as we were concerned, he had already pled guilty to those. So fine. What was not going to happen or what did not happen was a plea of guilty to murder, not happening, innocent man.
Right.
No plea to the gang charges, no plea to the firearms, and no factual acknowledgement that, that put individuals in positions to say things that the state just wanted them to say.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And given his experience of what Mr. Nichols went through and all the legal challenges that have happened during this trial, what's the most important takeaway do you think the public should be aware of?
The criminal justice system isn't fair.
Mm-hmm.
And you say that seriously, but people say that, but I think this is a situation where the public actually really was able to see it, in real time and see, over prosecution and see, lack of evidence, even with individuals being held without bond. You really got a chance. We see it all the time, but the world had the opportunity to see it. And that's so important. That's why public trials are so important. And so many individuals, their trial, it's a public trial. People can come in and watch if they want to. The media can ask to come if they want to, but they don't, right? Because people don't know this individual. So it's them and hopefully a few of their family members. And, although they're in an unfair fight, nobody knows. And when people don't know, you're pretty much fighting alone, right? So this was different. And that's one of the reasons, it's so important for public trials and the media to cover situations like this. And we really believe that it made all the difference.
The risk for the defendants is the unknown amount of time served or probation. The benefit is freedom. The risk for the legal system is letting known criminals free while compromising the original intention, which is to charge and punish them for their crimes. The benefit is to be tough on crime and get justice for victims of those crimes. Should the state have tried these cases individually? We're down to 2 defendants, Shannon Stillwell and Diamante Kendrick. They rejected the state's offers of pleas. It is likely the defense attorneys are confident that the state does not have enough to charge them for these crimes, and they intend to prove that to the jury. Does plea dealing in the state of Georgia need to be reviewed? What about your state or your country? What do you guys think? Let us know in the comments section what you think about plea dealing and how it's been going in the state of Georgia. And even if you're in another country, we are curious to see how it goes. Stay safe out there. See you in the next one. Bye.